Hello everyone. Am I audible? Can you guys confirm on the chat section if you can hear me? Anybody whoever has joined the stream, if you can confirm if I'm audible and you can hear me clearly. Guys, can you hear me? Game changer. Yes, 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 Naman. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining at 7:30. Genuinely like you guys being so disciplined and joining directly at 7:30. So, welcome to the NPAT analysis 2026 for phase 1. Yes, we have detailed analysis available for all of you. So, getting right to it, in this video today we will be discussing the paper pattern, the test interface. So when you go to the center to write the examination, what you can expect when the paper starts, important topics for each and every section. So for quantitative ability, something which all of you are very nervous about, what are the important chapters, how many questions are coming, logical reasoning, verbal ability. Then also we will discuss what is the strategy which you need to follow to ace this test. Then I will also give you what is the expected good scores which you should target so that you can secure admission in NMIMS Mumbai campus. So let's get into it. The paper pattern, there is no surprises here. It is same quantitative ability, 40 questions, logical reasoning, 40 questions, verbal ability, 40 questions, a total of 120. The time limit was 100 minutes. There is no sectional time limit. +1 for correct answer, no negative marking. There is no on screen calculator available. So, again, guys, if you read this somewhere on Google that you may get a on screen calculator, no, it's not available. So, be careful. Now, one important point, on the day of your examination, you need to carry these two things without fail. You need to carry a printout of your admit card. So I'm hoping most of you who have joined the stream have already booked the slots for your phase 1 examination. And on your NPAT dashboard, you can see admit card. So the PDF has to be taken a printout and the digital copy is not allowed. Along with that, you need your original ID proof in the center. So you cannot take some digital Aadhaar card copy or a printout of your Aadhaar card. You need to carry the original Aadhaar card with you. Without these two documents, the people at the center will not allow you to write your paper. So be extremely careful that you have these two documents in your bag one night before when you're going to give the examination. Now, talking about your test interface, if you guys have taken the IMS mocks from SIM NPAT 5 onwards, you must have seen this new interface. Your NPAT actual examination has exactly same interface where you can see one question at a time. There is no window towards the right hand side where you can click on different questions and everything. On the top, you can see what is the time left, the question number. Now, on the bottom, you can see something called as navigator. Now, once you click on this navigator, there will be a pop-up. The moment you open this pop-up, you can see all 120 questions. You can scroll through them and you can go to any particular question. Now, why is understanding this interface so important? In NPAT examination, you cannot see three different sections. So you cannot see quantitative ability, logical reasoning, and English. All three are stacked one after the other. So question number 1 to 40 is quantitative ability. Question number 41 to 80 is logical reasoning. Question number 81 to 120 is verbal ability. So some of you who wants to start with logical reasoning, you can use this navigator, go to question number 41, and then start solving the logical reasoning section. Some of you who want to start with verbal ability, you can again click on the navigator, go to question number 81, and then start solving your verbal ability. So, again, it is important that you already know this interface so that you are not surprised by how the test interface is looking when you're giving this paper. Now, coming to quantitative ability section. what happened in phase one. Like last year only, data interpretation is part of quantitative ability. There were two DI sets. Each set had four questions. Now, important point to note that majority of the questions in DI set were based on data comparison, where you had to do calculations. Once you have completed your calculations, you have to compare two values and say which of the value is greater. So it was more on data comparison lines. Then trigonometry, like all the previous years, has been one of the most important topics in NPAT. There were six questions on trigo. One thing which I want to make it clear to all of you, this is not the same number of questions which you can expect in your paper. As you guys know, NPAT has a window-based system. So every single day, there are different permutation and combinations which happen with the number of questions which you get. So some of you may end up seeing 8 questions in trigonometry. Some of you can also only have 4 questions in trigonometry, but nevertheless, trigonometry will be a very important chapter if you want to ace quantitative ability. So remember this part. Now, after trigonometry, the next important topic was statistics. In statistics, they were testing you on mean, median, mode, mean deviation. Here also, there was a question where the observation, like the data set was given. Based on that, you had to calculate mean and median. And then we were asking you whether mean and median were equal, if mean was more than the median, or if median was more than the mean. So something like this. So you can expect data comparison questions a lot in your impact paper. Then there were 4 questions on time and work. All the 4 questions were something which are very similar to what you have been practicing in your IMS class exercise, practice exercise. Again, if you have given your benchmarking test, you should be well versed with that question type. Then there were 4 questions on algebra. Now, in algebra, the most important things which came out was algebraic identities, particularly one of the identity, which is a cube plus b cube plus c cube is equal to 3abc. The special case when a is equal to b is equal to c, or a plus b plus c is equal to 0. This special case, there were 2 questions on this. So definitely make sure that before you go for NPAT examination, you're going through this algebraic identities and you're well versed with them. Now, set theory Venn diagram, there were 3 questions on sets. The sets came in the form of percentages. So again, they were asking you percentage not only in data interpretation, but also in terms of set. Then there were 3 questions on probability, pretty easy, pretty doable. One question on sequence and series, one on ratio proportion, one on percentages. There was one question on mixtures and allegations. In search, they had asked you comparison of search. Again, something which is already covered in your IMS chapter of linear equation search and indices. And we have done enough examples in practice and class exercise. And there was one question on HCF and LCF. In total, this was the 40 questions based on somebody who gave the attempt today. Like I said, when you guys go and write NPAT tomorrow or maybe in the month of March, then you should not expect exactly 6 questions on trigonometry. You may end up getting 8 or 4, but definitely trigonometry will be an important chapter for you guys. Now, talking about logical reasoning. There were 9 questions on verbal reasoning, which are your statement conclusion, statement inference, statement and course of action. So there were 9 questions on verbal reasoning. There were 8 questions on visual reasoning. Now, speaking about this 8 questions, 3 questions were on your top view, front view, and side view. These questions were quite difficult to understand, visualize, and answer. So make sure that when you are attempting such a question, after 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes, if you're not able to visualize it, please move on and don't waste too much time on one single question. Like you guys know, in impact, there is no negative marking. So no point leaving a question. You should definitely just fluke it and move forward. If you waste 5 minutes on one question, you have lost out on valuable time and you may end up in a situation where there are 5 or 10 easy questions, but you have to fluke it, and then the chances of your scoring like goes down just because you did not have enough time towards the ending. So just be careful. Now, out of these 8 questions, 3 were based on front view, top view, side view. There were 3 questions which were based on your patterns where you had to complete the series. So it was based either on rotation, on reflection, so something like that. So if you decode the pattern, the questions were very easy. But to decode the pattern again, you may end up taking 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Now, the two questions which came were on cubes. These were fairly easier questions and something which could have been answered relatively quicker compared to the remaining visual reasoning section. Six questions were on syllogism. So make sure that you're practicing syllogisms quite well before you go for your NPAT examination. There were four questions on series and odd one out, four questions on coding and decoding. Data comparison had three questions. Venn diagram had three questions. Then there were three questions on family tree. Something which you guys need to remember is that in logical reasoning, there were some questions which had only three options. So especially the questions which comes in data comparison have options such as always, never, sometimes. There are also some other questions where you have only three options such as true, false, or uncertain. So normally you guys have been practicing for multiple choice questions where you have A, B, C, D. But in impact, you may have some questions which have five options. You may have some questions which have only three options, and majority of the questions have four options. So something you need to be careful about, and don't be surprised that if you see three options, you feel like the question is not loading or the system is glitching. No, nothing like that. Some questions may only have three options, so you need to answer accordingly. Now, speaking about verbal ability, this was a section which was exactly similar like last year. There were three passages in reading comprehension. Each passage had four questions. So 3 into 4, you had 12 questions in reading comprehension. All the passages were, I would say, medium to lengthy. They were not very short, but definitely not very long also. So it was somewhere between medium to lengthy. Now, in verbal passages, again, you had four options. If you read the passages well, quite easy questions to answer. Very few questions were inference based, so you could have managed this passages very easily. Then closed passage. For some of you who don't know what closed passage is, you get a paragraph. Inside the paragraph, there are four fill in the blanks. And now you need to fill all the four fill in the blanks. Each of the four blanks is one question. So, like that, you had two closed passages. Each closed passage has four questions. So, 4 into 2, 8. Again, if you uh, know the context of the passage, if you try to fit in the options, you can easily answer all eight questions. Spot the error, grammatical error, punctuation error. There were five questions. There were five questions on preposition, like every single year. Five questions on vocabulary, which were in the form of synonym, antonym. Here, a good knowledge of vocabulary was important to answer these questions. Now, there were five questions on parajumbles. When I'm talking about parajumbles, not every single question had only four statements. There were some questions which also had five statements. So, example A, B, C, D, and E, and you had to arrange them. All the statements were fairly short, one-liners, but again, there were few parajumbles with four statements, few parajumbles with five statements. So, overall, verbal ability was pretty doable and something if you have seen analysis since last year, if you have been talking to your IMS mentors, you should be comfortable to ace this section, and there are no new surprises available in the section. Now, talking about the strategy, verbal ability, like every single year, it is a very easy section. So you can make somewhere between 35 to 40 good attempts. Yes, some of you who are very good with verbal can also end up doing 40 genuine attempts and you don't need to fluke. Again, some of you who are not that good with vocabulary, especially, may end up making 35 or 36 attempts. Remember, there is no negative marking. So put full flukes and move forward. For verbal ability, all in all, because there are only 12 questions in reading comprehension and the remaining 28 questions comes in form of grammar, which can be answered even in 10 or 15 seconds, the total time which you should spend is between 20 to 25 minutes. Talking about logical reasoning, the good attempts were 30 to 35. This is one of the most time consuming sections. Like I said, visual reasoning, even though it seems easy, will end up taking too much time if you have to visualize each and every question. So, for 30 to 35 good attempts, somewhere you need to spend 40 to 45 minutes. Definitely, there will be five questions which you need to look. Quantitative ability, 25 to 30 good attempts. If you're very good with quants, definitely you can go above 30 also if you remember your speed math tricks and everything. But more or less for all of you out there, if you're average with math, a 25 will be a good genuine attempt. If you're good with maths, you can make 30 attempts. The total time which you should spend on this should be between 30 to 35 minutes. One important tip which you need to remember is that in quantitative ability, because you also have data interpretation, which is 8 questions, sometimes you end up spending 20 minutes on just those 8 questions of DI without tracking your time. So make sure that you're constantly keeping a track of your time and you're not going more than your decided time into any particular section. Ideal order of sections. Again, there are multiple permutation combinations. If you are very good with quants, you can start with quants, followed by LR, followed by verbal. Somebody who is exceptionally good with logical reasoning can start with logical reasoning, followed by verbal, followed by quants. But the ideal order which we recommend is that you start with verbal, get done with this entire section. It is extremely easy in 20 to 25 minutes. Again, like I said, there is no point saving the questions towards the ending because Navigator, even though it is there, it's not the most handy tool which is available. So you should not waste too much time using Navigator. So if you have started with verbal from question number 81, in the first go, if you don't understand some question, put a fluke in 20 to 25 minutes, complete this entire section. After that, go to LR section. In 40 to 45 minutes, do 30 to 35 genuine attempts. The 5 or 10 questions which you don't know, fluke it, mark some answers, and then move forward to quants and complete your paper. Last year, I had quite few students who reported this that, sir, we had kept few questions towards the ending, assuming that we will get time and then we will later on come and solve them, but they did not get any time. And because the time was running out, the moment they were trying to click on the navigator and go to one question, in that much time, the entire paper got submitted and they left out on 8 to 10 questions. Again, guys, NPAT is a paper without negative marking. So if you are not solving 10 questions, just by probability or luck, you can still end up getting that 1 or 2 mark bare minimum. And if you're not marking anything, you're losing out on that 1 or 2 mark. And 1 or 2 mark can become a deciding factor between you getting a Mumbai campus or a Navi Mumbai campus, you getting BSc Fin or you getting a BBA. So be extremely cautious about. Now, talking about the good score for getting into Mumbai campus. For their integrated BBA MBA program, for which last year the good approximate merit rank to convert was around 300. So for that, 82 to 85 will somewhere be a very good score to target. Obviously, you should aim for something more than this. Let us say you should target for 90. And if circumstances are not good, still you may end up getting 82 or 85. But if you have somewhere in this range, you should be good to get into integrated BBA MBA. For BSc Fin, 78 to 80 marks. For BBA, 71 to 73. For BCom Honors, 65 to 67. BSc Economics, 65 to 67. Branding and Advertising in BBA, 58 to 60 marks. BBMM, which is their BBA in Management and Marketing in the School of Family Business and Entrepreneurship, 50 to 52. BA Honors in Liberal Studies, 58 to 60. And BBA International Studies, 50 to 52 marks. Like I said, guys, NMIMS never publishes the official score. Even you guys will not know your score after your first or even after all 3 attempts. But this should be somewhere a good score based on our past history, our data, whatever students score in the IMS mocks, and accordingly, how many students make it into from our end. Definitely, you should target getting that 90 marks and 95 marks, but somewhere you should be good to get into Mumbai campus for a particular course in this score range. So that's it from my side. All the best for your session. Now we will have a quick Q&A. I have kept the live chat open, so let's see what all questions you have. Whatever you have, you can put it and we can discuss it. So, Kusha, 2 sets of closed passages. Yes, you can expect 2 sets of closed passages, 4 questions each. At the end will we know what all questions we have left if you want to at least guess and keep the answer. Like I said, if you click on the navigator, you can see that which question you have marked for review, which question you have answered, which question you have not answered. You can see all those things, but it is not recommended to keep a lot of the questions towards the ending, because in case you don't have time to come towards the ending, then you may not get time to mark any answer and you lose out on those questions, because time runs out very quickly, because it's only 100-minute paper, and in 100-minute paper you have to do 120 questions, so it's already a daunting task. What is a good score for NMIMS Bangalore BBA? You can take some approximation based on the Mumbai campus. Again, NMIMS Bangalore is not the most prominent campus which many people keep as their first preference. So somewhere in the range of 55 to 65 should be good enough to end up getting you NMIMS Bangalore BBA. I want BSc in Mumbai. What should my aim be for QA? Okay, guys, you need to remember that NMIMS does not have sectional cutoff, which means that you don't need to aim at any particular score in the quant section or verbal section. Overall, out of 120, if you want to DSC Fin, you should aim to secure 80 marks. And 80 should be a very safe score to get in Mumbai campus. Sir, can we change our preferences? Recently, Sanika ma'am had done a session. It is there on our YouTube channel. So make sure that you are watching that entire thing to understand about phases in admission. But I'll just answer your doubt here. But make sure to watch that video as well. That you cannot change your preferences once you have already paid your money. Until you pay your money, you are allowed to change your preferences. Can one change a choice once marked? Yes, you are allowed to change the option even once you have marked that particular answer. Cutoff for BBA Finance and Family Business and Entrepreneurship. For BBA Finance, somewhere a good score would be in the range of 70 to 80 marks, because there are only 60 seats for this particular program. Uh, Nayanika Bakshi for BBA Mumbai 75. Again, like we said, it is based on our estimation from previous years, what students used to score in IMS mocks. And IMS mocks are very much on the same difficulty level as the actual impact paper. So in our mocks, people who used to score between 70 to 75 have safely secured NMIMS Mumbai BBA program. So the estimation is based on those kind of calculations. Oh, Tono, sir, I gave exam today and I got five options. Yes, like I said, out of 120 questions, you can have good 15 to 20. Somebody like he's mentioning have 30 questions where you can get five options instead of four. There can also be 10 to 15 questions where you get three options instead of four options. So something which you should not have as a surprise element anymore if you have watched this analysis. Again, guys, if you have liked this analysis, make sure to subscribe and like the channel. The moment phase two is out, we will again come back with the phase two analysis as well. And your exam season is starting soon in the full-fledged manner. And for every single examination, we will be having a detailed analysis video on our channel before anybody else. So make sure to subscribe so that you are up to date with all the analysis and you can prepare well. Also, we have created analysis video for last year also for every single examination. So before you go for your papers, you can also watch that to get fair share of idea about difficulty, questions, important topics for every single paper. Are IMS mocks harder, Adira? No, IMS mocks are not harder. Yes, there may be some mocks which you may find difficult compared to some NMIMS questions, but more or less they are exactly at the difficulty level of impact. Expected cutoffs for Ahmedabad campus. Okay, Ahmedabad campus program will be starting this year only, so don't have any expectation for that. So I wouldn't want to speculate anything on that. So 70 to 75 score after or before guessing answers in IMS. Or to know something which I would advise as a mentor, whenever you're giving IMS mocks, you should not fluke, because you want to see what your genuine score is. And if with your genuine efforts you can score 70 to 75, with the luck factor coming in, definitely your score will improve and so will your rank. But let us say you fluke, and if you get 70 and 75, then during the main paper there can be a possibility that the luck runs out, and then you only get 69 and you don't get the program. So when you're giving IMS mocks, make sure that you're not fluking and you're trying to achieve 70 to 75 score based on your genuine efforts. Sir, can we have a chance to select the subject in MBA? Yes, in NMIMS, even for the integrated BBA MBA program, you have a lot of electives. Even for the BBA program, you have electives in second semester and third semester. So in third semester and honors, in third semester, you can select marketing or fin, and your honors can be completely on those lines. So will the preference of courses we put in our application play a role in what we get? Definitely, the preferences will play an important role. If you get your preference one, you will not be eligible to get any other program. If you get your preference two in phase one, you are eligible to get an upgrade in phase two as well. So your preferences will play a very important role. Expected cutoff for BBA FinTech, again, it should be somewhere between 70 to 75 marks. Style, it should be somewhere between 70 to 75 marks. Again, guys, 70 to 75 in your IMX mocks on genuine efforts is a very good score which you should target. And then even if luck factor comes in, your rank improves all in all. Do they give paper and pen for working? Okay, guys, a very good question which is here, and everybody should be aware about this. You don't get pen and paper, you actually get a sketchbook, which is kind of like laminated sheets, and you get a marker. So you can draw, not draw during the paper, but basically you can do your rough work on that, and then you can wipe it with a duster if they provide you with a duster. Last year, I remember that one of the students reported at their center there was a common duster between three students. So you had to wait for your turn if somebody else was using. But again, because it's a marker, you can just wear a full sleeve t-shirt and you can just use your t-shirt to wipe it off. So you get a marker and a sketchbook and you can keep on erasing. But in that laminated book also, there are good 8 to 10 sides. So maybe you would not need to erase that frequently. But one of the problems which many students face is that because it's a thick marker, it is not that convenient to write like your ballpoint pens. So something to be aware about. And if you can get something like that from a local stationery shop, make sure that you have that available even during your mocks. So you have the practice of writing with a thick marker on a laminated sheet. Uh, Sir, is there MBA in finance in NMIMS? There is an integrated program, BBA, MBA, and in your MBA, you can choose your specialization as finance. So, but there is no particular MBA in finance as such for UG people. Do they give what to do if boards are on and not prepared for NPAT? Yes, students, I know your boards are on. For a lot of you, your last paper will be on 26th February if you are in HSE accounts. For some of you, it will still go on till March if you have IT and those papers. But I would recommend that after your major papers are over, after 26th February, you can take 1 or 2 days off and then you can get into that preparation zone and start working hard daily. If you are prepared very well for the last 1 year with IMS. And if you have been consistent, there is nothing to worry. 1 month is a good enough time for you to get back on track, give enough mocks, and get into this. And what is a good aim for QA and IMS mocks when QA is my weakest? Like I said, even if quants is not your strongest suit, somewhere with practice, you should aim to get somewhere between 20 to 25 genuine questions. And with practice, you can aim at getting a good accuracy. So you can secure somewhere between 22 to 20 genuine marks in quant section. So that should be your target starting now. So no, sir, I got two laminated sheets only in water and towel instead of duster. Yes, I also know this happened in some of the centers. So there is some sort of discrepancy between the centers where some people may end up getting eight sides of laminated sheets. Some people will only get four sides. So whatever center you choose, just go with whatever rules they have, and no point arguing. And again, because it's a laminated sheet, you can just wipe it off and you can write as many times as you like. So somewhere it is better than the paper also because there is no limit to it. Dhamik sir, last question. We have boards going on and we registered for phase one. So we get a week to study. So how should we approach our prep? Do only mocks and analyze that or should we revise? Okay, so you can just replay this entire analysis. Whatever chapters we have covered in the analysis, do make sure that you're going through those chapters particularly well and going through your entire theory and your formula book and the important uh, sums from your class practice and benchmarking test, but mainly you should focus on your test taking through mocks, and analysis of mocks is way more important. So for all of you out there, giving mocks is like 20% of your efforts, but analyzing the mocks and those takeaways are 80% of the efforts, which can improve you. So that should be your goal for the last 10 to 15 days before your phase one attempt. Uh, is this possible? We fill the form of phase one with zero retakes and after the result? Yes, it is possible. We have covered everything in detail about the NPAT phases in another video on our channel. So make sure you're watching that video. Tips for reading RC. So, okay, I'm a Quantitative mentor. Yes, I have fairly good experience in RC, but I would not be the best person to give you any tip on this. So if you are a IMS student, please connect with your verbal mentor and they will be the best person to guide you. And also if you're IMS student, they have taught you for quite a long time and they know your weaknesses. So do get in touch with your IMS mentors. How big is the laminated sheet? I would say it is approximately size of a A4 paper. So when you take a normal Xerox or a printout, it is approximately of that size. So can we fill new application for or not for phase two? There is no separate applications for phase one or phase two. If you have already registered for phase one, that same application will be utilized in phase two, where you just need to book the slots. If you have already paid for the retakes, if not, you have to click on yes, select two for the retakes or one, and then pay for it and book the slot. So there is no separate registration which will happen for it. And again, like I said, we have a detailed video on this on our channel. Make sure to clear all your doubts about that. Guys, any more questions? If you have, it has been 30 minutes since we have started the stream. If you guys have no more questions, we can end the stream. Thank you so much for joining, all of you. 48 people who are watching, please make sure to like if you got some great takeaways from the stream. So please do that. So the topics that you discussed today, only these topics will come in the exam. Okay. Good question, Aryan. Not just this topics. There can be few questions from other topics as well. So, for example, you may end up getting a question from averages as well. But these topics are something which should be on high priority when you start your revision, and everybody has a limited amount of time. In this limited time, you cannot do every single thing which you have studied in 1 year, but you can start by prioritizing these topics followed by the other topics. So definitely, I would advise that try to do as much as possible, but start with these topics on highest priority. BBA Mumbai expected cutoff somewhere between 70 to 75 should be a good score to get your BBA in Mumbai campus. But you will never know your score, but you should target to get that score in your mocks, especially. So will they take the best of two if we have a retake? Yes, they will consider the best of two scores to give you your final admit. If you are giving both the retakes in phase one, so the best score out of that is considered for the phase one round. If you're giving one attempt now and one attempt in phase two, then after the phase two results are over, they may consider the best score. Okay, guys. So in the topics that you discussed, I didn't see SI and CI. Okay, so SI and CI again is a topic which has not been that commonly asked in Impact. Even last year, extremely few students reported seeing a question on SINCI. So it may come, but again, not the most important topic in terms of preparation from Impact perspective. For somebody who hasn't started prep yet, how realistic is it to get into BSc Economics Mumbai campus? If I'm at rounding, okay. If you're attempting somewhere in the last dates of phase one, if you're consistent with your preparations, you can aim to get BSc Economics also. There is absolutely no reason to believe that you will not get in. But like I said, it will take a lot of consistency and efforts from your side, and you may need to give daily 4 to 5 hours. If you're not an IMS student, you can get in touch with our team. You can leave a comment in the chat section and they'll get in touch with you. Or if you're already enrolled with IMS, go and speak with your mentors tomorrow only, get a study plan, and get going with your preparation. Can you tell us other important chapters other than what was on the screen? Again, guys, this is something from what happened today in the phase one attempts. And these topics have been traditionally extremely important in impact over the years. Does not mean that this is the exhaustive list of topics and you should not do other things. You should also study other quants topics, especially topics such as algebra or averages, linear equations. You should also study logarithms. You should study modulus and inequality. In last year, there were questions on modulus and inequality also. You should study functions. There have been so many years when functions has been one of the important topics. So do study all those topics. But if you have limited time, these topics can be on the higher priority side to start studying. Uh, Dipanjali, yeah, three retakes, good. Uh, Okay, so I mean, there are only three maximum attempts which you can take. So it's not about good or bad. That's the maximum which you can take. So yeah, if NMIMS is your priority, definitely go ahead and take total three attempts. Kavya, will the cutoff for phase two be more than the cutoff for phase one? Uh, Again, this is pure speculation, and I don't want to get into any speculation in this stream. So we don't know about this. There is absolutely no official information about this. And even if somebody else is putting any information, it would be speculative. So let's drive away from myths and speculation. Whatever happens, let's go with the flow. So we joined late. Can you please put the topics? Uh, okay, Vaishali, if you have joined late, the moment the stream ends, you can just rewatch the stream from the beginning, or you can just rewind and see what topics were discussed. Guys, you can also just take the screenshot of the slide and you can have those topics in front of you. When will the set forms come out? You can get into touch with the NMIMS official team for this, and they are the best people to help you. So they've given a helpline number, and you can get in touch with them. Can we fill both forms for phase one and phase two? If you fill a form right now, then you need to give one attempt in phase one. So yeah, I mean, if you have filled the form, you it is mandatory to give at least one attempt in phase one and remaining two in phase two. Like I iterated multiple times during the stream, we have a detailed video on this, and do make sure to see that entire video because we have somebody coming from the NMIMS official admission team and speaking with our uh, person from IMS. So make sure to watch that to clear all your doubts. So my boards end on 30th March and my impact is on 31st. How should I go? Okay, if your boards are ending on 30th March, starting today from 14th Feb, I think you would have enough gap between your board papers. So parallel to your boards, every day you should take like 60 or 90 minutes out and do your preparation. If you are IMS student, then please get in touch with your mentor. They are the best person to guide you and create a study plan for you. So what is the weightage of geometry in impact? Again, there is no official weightage which I can discuss, or I am not sure what questions can be expected from geometry, but you should definitely prepare your basic geometry formulas and go for impact examination. Can you tell us the weightage of all the chapters? it is impossible to predict the weightage of all the chapters because some people may end up getting 4 questions on trigo, some may get 10. So weightage cannot be given like that. But what we have mentioned today are the important topics which came in the attempt today. And these topics have traditionally also been important over the years. So you should start preparation with them. Can you please attach some link of that video? Okay, I think somebody from my team will definitely put it in the chat section also, or they will definitely pin it in the comment section. So after the stream is over, you can definitely check the comment section and they will do it for you. Anybody, any other doubts? If you have, I'll take doubts for 5 more minutes, and at 8:15 we will be ending the stream. So anybody, if you have any doubts, you can put it across. Again, guys, if you like the stream, please make sure to like and subscribe because we will be getting a lot of such videos out for you in the coming days as well. Similar to NPAT, we will also have the videos for other examinations. So make sure that you are subscribing and liking the video. What happens if a question is wrong? If the question is wrong, there is no negative. So you may just get zero for that, but there is no negative marking absolutely for NPAT paper. Sir, is MST a similar thing to this NPAT? MST has a different paper pattern, but again, the topics and the chapters and the difficulty of the questions will be on the same line. For MST, you have 60 questions in quants, and then you have 40 questions in LR and 20 in verbal. Unlike NPAT, where you have 40, 40, 40. So that's the difference between MST and NPAT. Incomplete in the actual paper. Okay, if you don't mark the answer only for any of the questions, then those questions are unattempted, and because you have not marked anything, you cannot expect to get any score. Uh, Sir, does IMS plan on adding 5 or 3 options to our mocks? Definitely, we will try to get this incorporated in the upcoming mocks. We'll try to do it for you guys. You can definitely put it in the comment section also, and the team will get back to you with the exact answer and response on this. I meant, what if the question is wrong from their side? Again, for NPAT, there is no response sheet which comes out. So you will never know if the question was wrong or not. If you think the question is wrong, I believe there is an option to flag the question. Just you can do it from your side. But there is no response sheet which comes out. So you will never know how they are going to deal with it. For this query, again, I would say that get in touch with the NMIMS official team on their helpline number, and they'll give you a more accurate and better answer. What do you suggest for attempt? Should we take 2 or 1 in phase one and the rest in phase two, or how? I my boards till 28th March and I'm thinking of give. Okay, if you have your boards in till 28th March, recommendation would be take 1 attempt in phase one and the remaining 2 in phase 2, because taking 2 attempts in phase one will not be possible for you because it will overlap a lot with your boards and you wouldn't be able to do justice with your attempt. Book for NPAT preparation. Okay, so we have our brisk batches starting across. So you can definitely leave your details in the comment section, or you can put your email ID or anything, and our team will definitely get in touch with you if you want to start your preparation today with IMS for Impact. Sir, can someone solve a live mock for MST and Impact this year? As okay, I will put it with my team and we will try to get this done for you guys where somebody is solving a live mock on our channel. So make sure to subscribe so that whenever the video comes out, you are ready with that. So will the admission in phase two be harder? Again, it's pure speculation whether it will be harder or easier or how many seats will go on. And I don't want to get into any speculation. So no answer on this, please. Is 80 marks good for main campus? Yes, 80 should be a very good score for you to get into Mumbai campus. So Thank you so much, guys, for joining the stream. Last 2 minutes, anybody, any questions, you can put it across. And again, thank you so much, everyone who have connected and been here patiently for the last 45 minutes now. Sir, if I get second preference in phase one, I can pay and lock. And if I get the first preference phase two, I can withdraw the phase one fees. It's not about withdrawing the fee. They will upgrade you to your first preference. And if there is any difference in the amount, you need to pay that. That is what has been said by the official guy from NMIMS admission team. So you can again watch that video and you can get the understanding on this. Sir, I'm a student. How do I reach out to my mentor for a study plan? I'm a student at the CP branch, New Delhi. So if you are an IMS student, whoever is your mentor, whoever has taught you, you can book a my plan with them, get in touch, and get your study plan sorted for you guys. How do we prepare? Suggest some books. You can enroll with IMS. We have the entire material available for you guys alongside the best mocks which are there in this industry. So definitely you can enroll and you can get our courseware and course material every time. NMIMS main campus versus Christ main campus. Soon we will be having this video on our channel. So that will answer your query. So I will not disclose anything. Let's keep it as a surprise. And the moment that video comes out, you should watch it and it will answer all your query. Can you tell us about integrated BBA MBA? We also have another video on our channel about this, discussing in detail about the integrated BBA MBA. So you can watch that and it will clear all your doubts. For IMS students, can we do a crash course? I would request you to please connect with your mentors and your respective EAs at the centers and they can guide you better for all this. Yes, there are provisions for getting admission through SAT score also, but what is that exact score? We don't know. It is not disclosed by NPAT because based on the SAT score also, there are merit ranks and accordingly you will get in. When does the academic year start? Last year it started somewhere in mid of July. So you can expect the same thing this year around. Again, guys, about cutoff and everything we have already covered in detail. You can go back and see this video and you will have your answer. Thank you so much for connecting everybody who has been so patient. Thank you so much. I hope I was able to help you and see you guys again soon with some other detailed analysis.